me, Bobby Brown on the mic, we discussing it all. Faith, family, 5 nations standing tall. Politics, entertainment.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz. We're going to start. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the failed, debunked criminal. And I say criminal. See, understand, folks, people like to talk about the criminal charges on Donald Trump. Convicted felon charge. And people always talk about how he's going to be prosecuted. You go look at those. We're going to go with here. Those 30-some counts of felonies are really one charge that they decide to stack up. And it's ridiculous looking at it. So I doubt it they're going to stay on the book. And it ain't got nothing to do with Trump being president. Foolish charge. It's so much you can charge people in Washington, D.C. on so many crimes that they committed, but you would never know it because they're the cops that commit crimes. There's cops that commit crimes. They'll never get prosecuted because of the code blue or the blue codes, or whatever you want to call it. It's like a gang. You know, you don't rat out on your other fellow cops, man. I don't care if you're clean and he's dirty. You don't rat out. If you rat out, that's damn you. So yeah, I mean, this thing is just ridiculous. So we're going to get into this Debbie Wasserman Schultz. This woman has the nerve to talk about somebody being picked for a cabinet. She has no room to talk about anything in politics. She should be in jail. She should be riding in a prison for tampering in the federal election system. She helped rig the Democratic primaries in 2016. She was the head of the DNC, chosen by Hillary Clinton's in the Clintonite. And then Tulsi Gabbard was second in command. Even the Clintons had favor for Tulsi Gabbard. She was the second in command assistant, just in case Debbie's not available. She would take Debbie's place. That's how far Tulsi Gabbard went in the Democratic Party. She was the rising star in the Democratic Party until she seen what was happening at the DNC and decides to blow the whistle. And when she blew the whistle, she just said, I can't no more with this party. I love this party, but I can't. There's so much corruption in this party, and it used to be that way. They rig, they manipulate, they fix the numbers, they cook the books, they do so much evil stuff in here. Also, one person can win the election. You don't get a chance. They hand select. The DNC is a corporation. At the end of the day, your votes don't matter when it comes to the DNC primaries, because you can vote and elect that person, and if they don't like that person, the superdelegates and the delegates can remove that person from being in power. Look what they did to Joe Biden. Thanks Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and Holly, drying up Joe's money and forcing Joe to step down. Joe did not want to step down. They forced him to step down. He had no choice. He wouldn't have had no money. And they installed Kamala Harris, and then they gave her the nomination because all of them lock, stock, and the coat. This is going to be one of our new cult leaders, and you just follow it and just go with the flow. I'm not like that. Never was like that. Never will be like that. It is so much corruption in the Democratic Party that Tulsi Gabbard had to resign from DNC chair position, and then she began a Bernie Sanders delegate in the Surrey. And I think she even opened up at the national convention a couple of times. But now, all of a sudden, when she decides to get out the party, everybody want to call her a Russian asset. Or she buck up against the party, they want to call her a Russian asset. No, you need to set your ass down and shut up. Go to Russia somewhere. She's not a Russian asset. The problem is you are a big ass. That's it. You're a big ass set. You're a big set of ass. All you guys in the Democratic Party in the leadership, especially in the DNC committee, all of you a bunch of you're a set of asset. The nerves of you to talk about this woman. This woman in a military major, medical doctor, served in the military, did 2 tours of duty, and you turkeys ain't never win a day in your life. Put her life on the line. You never won a day in your life. And you got the nerve to call her a Russian asset. But let me get to this video of Debbie Wasserman Schultz with her crooked behind. Before we get started, fair use. Fair use is copyright disclaimer under the section of 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism. I'm about to be a critic right now. About to criticize. Comment. News reporting, teaching, scholarship, educational, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing, but nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So don't mess with me, YouTube and all you guys. Number 2, all opinions expressed on this program by the program participant are solely their current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Robert Brown or the Bob TV network. We do promote our First Amendment rights, no matter if I agree or not. The program participant opinions are based on information they consider reliable. It is your duty and your responsibility to fact check on your own. Don't even let the media fact check you, because a lot of they fact checking ain't facting or checking. Here's Debbie Wasserman Show. God awful, butt ugly. Sorry, Lord, forgive me. I hate, oh man, I hate corrupt people. This lady is corrupt to the core. Now I love them. I love their spirit. I want them to change, and I pray for them. I pray for her. But this is one of the most crooked con artists in the Democratic Party. It is amazing to me that she's not locked up. This lady rigged the primaries. She rigged her own elections against, what's the name? Yul Brynner. That's what I call him down there in Florida when he ran against her on the independent ticket and the Democratic ticket. Just rigging, working with the Secretary of State down there in the area to rig the primaries to make sure she continued to keep her position. She do not deserve that seat. The only way she got that seat in the past 8 years is by cheating, because she's the cheater and the worst of them. So, talking about Tulsi Gabbard, American citizen that's willing to work with both parties, willing to work outside like me, step outside, become an independent and just judge and be led by the Spirit and judge from what the Lord showed me about a person, because I don't vote on parties, I vote on people. Tulsi Gabbard do a good job. She become a surrogate for Donald Trump, and she ended up getting a cabinet position, or she's nominated for a cabinet position of Secretary of Intelligence. And here's what one of the most unintelligent, unattractive, uneverything, undesirable, I could say, well, I can't think of nothing else, but she's just ugly. That's an ugly woman right there. This is what she had to say about Tulsi Gabbard.
Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Congresswoman, it's always a pleasure to see you. I thank you.
Her name is Debbie Wasserman. She sucks. Not Wasserman Schultz. Wasserman, she sucks. And this guy right here is another Democratic suck up too. All of them in the coat.
For your time. What do you make of Trump's idea of wholesale recess appointments?
I mean, I agree. It is anti-constitutional and authoritarian and wholly undemocratic.
Wait a damn minute.
How is it anti-constitutional, undemocratic, when they got bylaws saying that he can do that and it's constitutional base? These people love to say unconstitutional and undemocratic, and most of the stuff that they do is unconstitutional and undemocratic. You're going to point the finger at that person, you got to look at the rest of those freaking crypt keeper fingers you got and point them back at yourself. It was undemocratic how you rigged the Democratic primaries in 2016. The nerves of you to sit up here and talk about what's democratic and what's not. You're the most undemocratic, democratic looking woman I ever seen in my life. Look at those eyes. Those are the eyes of pure evil in those eyes. Corruption to the core. Her eye socket. You pull her eyeballs in the back of her eyeballs and say corrupt. Cause all she see is corruption. That's corrupt woman. She's corrupt. Her rap name, if she was rapping, her rap name would be corrupt. She's corrupt. She's as crooked as they come. And she got the nerve to talk about something undemocratic, unconstitutional. You look like you need to be unconstipated. You look like you ain't pooped in like 10 weeks. Let me keep going.
Not surprising coming from someone who has really nominated the most extreme, dangerous cabinet in history. I mean, we're talking
How so? How so? Boy, this pisses me off to see that she got an opinion on the democratic process. Now, look, I don't like none of a lot of Trump pick. I mean, that just heard you talking about picking Miss Dr. Oz, man. I'm like, what? Really? You got to be trolling. Some of these people, you know, ain't gonna get nominated. You know they're not gonna get nominated.
Star Wars bar level craziness.
Now, she got the words to talk about Star Wars bar level of craziness when she was featured in Bernie Sanders' spinoff of Star Wars, and she was Debbie Wasserman Shows. Let me see if I can find it. Bernie Sanders. Debbie Wasserman Show. Bernie Sanders. They had her as Zsa Wasserman Schultz. Come on now. What car? Come on. Bernie Sanders. Yep, that was her character. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Bernie Sanders. This was a cartoon series that came out 8 years ago. And guess who played? Shout out to Shane Barbera.
What are the differences between a...
This is hilarious. She got the nerve to sit there and talk about somebody is off of Star Wars. Get, lady, if you don't get out of here, check this out. Let me see if I can find her character.
No bargain.
Let me see. Elizabeth Warren.
Well.
There she go.
If it isn't Bernie Sanders.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
This is Dodger. That's her. That's her. Look just like her. Let me go back to the video right here. Bam. 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 bam, 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 bam. She looked just like that doggone character. And she got the nerve to talk about somebody's looking like cabinet looked like his son straight off Star Wars.
Star Wars bar level craziness. And I mean, if you go pick by pick, not only are each of them, many of them individually unqualified.
And I'm quite sure this lady drank. I'm quite sure she's drunk right now. Look at her eyes. This lady is drunk. Y'all got her on MSNBC, drunk as a skunk. Early in the morning drunk, 11:37 a.m. Early in the morning drunk as a skunk, getting ready to tell your opinion about the cabinet that Trump is picking. And yeah, like I don't agree with some of those people on there. Some of them I think should be up there. Robert F. Kennedy, I ain't got no problem with him being in charge of Health and Human Services. You know, he don't need to be the Surgeon General. Ben Carson need to come back and be the Surgeon General. I don't know why the hell Ben Carson tried to be HUD when he's an actual surgeon. Anyway, this lady right here, y'all watching the show. Look,
qualified, they should be disqualified. And so
how should they disqualify? You should be disqualified. You should have been fired and your butt should be in prison, locked down, shoe program, making license plates with your girlfriend, Edna. Let me be quiet.
This is a man who is setting us on a course towards danger and the American people being put in jeopardy, and he's asking for unfettered approval from the Senate by...
How is he setting us on the course of danger already and he's not in the White House? You know who got us on a course of danger right now, and we're going to talk about that soon? Your boy Joe Biden, who told Zelensky he can escalate his war against Russia and do long-range missiles. Now, Trump need to get in there and try to holler at Zelensky before we end up in a World War III. Joe Biden is about to fade out of this existence, and he's trying to get everybody to fade out with him. Why in the hell would you tell that man, I encourage you to do long-range missiles? Because he's old. He old. And he sit his behind down. He's not cognate. And nobody need to be making no decisions. And Kamala, this is the only time. You know, I always said, you know, if I was Joe, I would have made Kamala Harris fine to get that position. But then I thought about it. She don't deserve that position. She need to earn it. Sending long-range missiles. And you got the nerves to talk about somebody's cabinet is a danger. Danger is your president right now. Our president, Joe Biden.
Not having to be required to have them review his choices. It's unacceptable.
So
He acts. It doesn't mean he's going to force it. He can't ask that somehow be passed through. But Trump, you know these people ain't going to do that. You know these people going to give you the hardest time in the world. You ain't going to have no good time trying to pick these picks. So I see what you're doing. You're going to pick the most asinine pick knowing that they're going to say no to just about everybody that you pick. And then you got John Bolton got the nerves to say something. We're going to talk about his old war crime head behind.
I want to get your read on some of those choices if I could. Let's start with Matt Gaetz, former congressman, Florida congressman.
I don't think Matt Gaetz need to be attorney general. That's a bad pick for Trump. Matt Gaetz got his own scandals going on, and you don't need to be picking people with a lot of scandals. You don't need to be picking any. That is a dumb pick, Trump. Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz out there having sex with young girls, 17 years old, and you want him in charge of the justice system? Are you out your freaking mind, man? And look, Kamala Harris wouldn't have did no better. She probably would have got some flamboyant, flam, floozy type of man to be the attorney general, and he's walking in the office with all pink on, with a big old hat and a feather, rainbow feather in his head, with the same kind of mindset. Probably have anything goes sexual mentality, just like Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz talking about, oh, I didn't know she was 17. I thought, dude, you knew. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these young girls been eating good. Sometimes you gotta like. Nah, that's not. Get out of here. And some of them will push up on you. Hey, girl, if you don't sit your behind down, I'm older to be your granddaddy. Sit your little behind down. Talking all that. Ooh, I like your mustache. Can I curl your mustache? Girl, if you don't sit your behind down. Bad pick. Some picks are good, some picks are bad, but that's how it is when you running for office and you win the nomination and you start to develop your cabinet pick. You start to develop your White House staff and your different agencies and who you're going to pick for this and that. You're going to have some horrible picks. You're going to have some good picks. You're going to have some just straight up dumb nomination. And dumb things happen during the nomination process. Like Ketanji Brown talking about, what is a woman? You're a woman. What do you mean, what do you want? Have you lost your mind and you want to be a judge? That's the same thing as Matt Gaetz. You want to be a judge and you don't have sex with a 17-year-old man? What's wrong with you? Anyway, I digress.
To be attorney general, what do you make of that?
It's breathtaking in its
It's not breathtaking. It's just stupid. Stop trying to make your words seem bigger than they are, Debbie Wasserman. She suck. I'm telling you, look at her. She drunk. This lady is drunk. Look at her. She's slurring, lips to the side like Rocky got punched in the face. She don't know whether to keep her eyes open or close it, and it's the middle of the freaking day.
It's extremism. I mean, Matt Gaetz has no experience whatsoever.
And you do? Isn't Matt Gaetz a lawyer? I mean, y'all just talking about, you guys were talking about putting Kamala Harris, trying to find some way to get her on the Supreme Court. Y'all trying to get that woman some kind of consolation prize. Hell out of here with that man. Oh, he's not qualified.
With the Department of Justice, other than being a subject of investigation for trafficking, sex trafficking minors. I mean, that's his experience.
The man did not sex traffic minors. These people love to label people. Now, don't get me wrong. Some states it's legal to get married at 17, and the age of consent is 17. New York State, the age to have sex is 18. I think the age to get married, age to have sex is 17. In Florida, it's 18. He's at a party, and for some reason, he got up with this girl and couldn't find out she was a young girl. That's his dumb fault. He shouldn't be in Congress, and he should be sitting down somewhere. He dang sure don't need to be at the DOJ. He dang sure don't need to be Attorney General. Not him. Bad pick Trump. But I'm not going to sit here and let Debbie Wasserman Schultz talk about Matt Gaetz like he's a crooked person when she's not. She's 10 times the worst crooked. Him having sex with a young girl is bad. 17 years old. Here in New York, it would have been okay. But man, you're almost 60, you're over 40 or 50 years old, and you out here messing with 17-year-old. I don't care if it's legal or not. Ew. Brother, ew. It's like having sex with your daughter. Ew. Ew. You don't do that. But here in New York, it's legal. But what you did, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you rigged a primary election. That is that should be an international crime, rigging an election. And you should do 25 to 50 years in prison just for doing it. But no, you get to sit here and judge a man that should be judged, but you need to judge yourself.
With the Department of Justice, and we're talking about someone who would be responsible for the entire system of justice, who has been investigated by the system of justice and has no other experience other than that. It is an extreme, outrageous nomination, and one that obviously I think should be defeated.
Is it extreme though? Is it extreme? The only problem with Matt Gaetz is he be messing with them little girls, young girls. That ain't got nothing to do with his job qualification. Well, let me change that. Yeah, if you can't be a judgment, a character to lead these young girls alone and mess with somebody probably no less than 10 years younger than you, yeah, you can't make that judgment. How you gonna be the attorney general? But here we got Stone Cold Steve Austin up here, Ric Flair, female Ric Flair, got the nerves to talk about somebody corrupt. If you don't sit your behind down.
And let's talk about former Hawaii Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to be direct.
Oh, look at her. Now, let's stop here. Debbie Wasserman Schultz do not like Tulsi Gabbard. It's a given. Why? Because Tulsi Gabbard exposed her for the crook that she is. Exposed her for the crook she is, but yet people keep, they talking about, they reelected Donald Trump. Well, look at how many times they reelected this crooked lady. Honestly speaking, they say Trump motivated people to do January 6th, and Trump, committed 39 felonies, which was nothing but a check case that they stacked the charges on, and they found 38 more ways of charging you for writing a check to some prostitute that you had, some porn star that you had sex with over 10 years ago. And they claimed that was hush money. Now, look, look, some of these women right here, they be like, look, I'm going to tell your wife, girl, here's a little money. Shut up. Don't be, shut your mouth. Hush up. In my face. Here, take it. Yeah, go on, get it. I just bought your car. Shut up. I guess that's hush money. This lady need to hush. She need to hush her mouth. She need to hush her face. She need to hush her career. She need to hush her. She just need to hush. Look at her face. When you mention Tulsi Gabbard, because Tulsi Gabbard is about to achieve a level of success that Debbie Wasserman Schultz could not get without rigging. Now, I'm not saying Tulsi Gabbard is an honorable person, because I don't know her like that. But the most things that I know about her is she's genuine, open, and honest. I got my issue with her. I met her over here in New York City at Union Square. She was out there hanging around with Hare Krishnas, and I got a chance to meet her. Tulsi is pretty decent woman, but I have my little issues with her too, especially when it comes to Medicaid. And she is conservative. She's a conservative Democrat. Was until the Democrat treated her like trash, and people just decide, I don't want to be a Democrat no more. Understand this, folks. You dogging people out in your party is just going to drive them out of your party. And then you get mad because they left your party. You want to call them a Russian agent, a maturing candidate. And Debbie Wasserman can't stand this. He couldn't even get Tulsi Gabbard name out of mouth. What about Representative? Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Let's listen to her.
Sorry, let me just add
Please.
something else. I mean, because this is an extremely important appointment. I mean, you wouldn't trust Matt Gaetz. Most parents wouldn't trust Matt Gaetz with their teenager. Never mind with our entire system of justice.
I wouldn't trust Matt Gaetz around my teenager. I don't. It's a lot of teenagers that act like they older. Heck, when I was a teenager, I was acting like I was older than what I really was. I had a fake ID. I was going to the club. I was drinking, and I was getting with older women, still in high school. Now I think about it, it's not a badge of, I'm kind of ashamed of myself, but back then, I'm a boy. I'm a real heterosexual boy. The older the better to me. She can cook for me. My mom get mad at me. I go stay at her house. Go to her house, cook some food. This lady didn't even know I was a kid. They do that sometimes. Some of these young girls act like they older. That's why I'm like, look, when it comes to, if I see you looking young, that's why I don't like messing with young girls, man. You got to be at least 40 now. I used to have a limit of 35, but even some of these 35, like my ex-girlfriend, her daughter has just turned 35. Pretty girl, but I wouldn't, I couldn't imagine, somebody my age. That's just too much, man. That's just too much. I ain't going under 40, and I'm not going over 60. I got that 20-year span in between. I'm not going over there. I'm not going to go, no. Can't mess with a woman 60 years old because they don't know how to act. Once you take them to Space Mountain, take them to the moon and back, you wake up and they looking at you like you crazy. And then you got the young girls, they want to fuss with your mama. Talking about who that be on the phone. That's my mama. What this got to do with Matt Gaetz? Well, some of these girls out here play like they older, but Matt Gaetz need to know his limit. You got to set your own limit on who you on age. You got to set your own age limit on your Mac. I don't care if this girl on a job, pretty girl. Cute girl, nice looking girl. She works in the building. I could tell she about 22, 23. Cute little light skinned short girl. No. You about 6-7 years older than my grandnieces and nephews. Nah, I can't. So you can't blame that just on Matt. But Matt need to have a discernment, or Matt need to have a moral fiber to say, my limit is this. See, I built moral fibers concerning myself. There's certain things I know I can do and even would love to do it, want to do it, but I don't do it because I got a moral fiber in me that cuts it off. And everybody need to have that. Now, she got the nerve to sit here talking about, he can't, anyway, she talking about, man, let me calm down. She's upset. She's mad. Got the nerve to be talking. And why are you talking to her, dude? Why are you talking to this corrupt lady? Asking her questions about corrupt people, and she's gonna give you what she believes is an honest answer, where she thinking she doing something good for America by saying, no, this person don't need to be here, no, this person don't need to be there. Your behind don't need to be there. You should have been gone a long time ago. Why are you not locked up? Why are you not locked up in prison with your rigging drunk behind?
So, I mean, for the president to nominate him to be in charge of our entire system of justice is really dangerous, and I just want to underscore that.
Could you elaborate? You folks got to stop saying dangerous and not elaborate how. It's been proven that January 6th, yep, those were Trump supporters, and you had a bunch of them in there, went in there and broke the law, and they need to be jailed. But to say Trump encouraged that is a lie, because not only did Trump tell them, go watch the video in its entirety, stop listening to these news clips. He said, you have a right to protest. When you go down there, protest peacefully, but we have to stand our ground, but protest peacefully. And I will know that my heart is with you. I'm paraphrasing. Go back and watch the video. When they were planning these events, Trump asked Nancy Pelosi to provide security, National Guard, just in case. Because you got people that's in your group that you can't control. You always have these zealots, these fanatics that you can't control. Proud Boys were there. Oath Keeper was there. There's a lot of bigot, racist people were there. And they do their own thing. And people say, well, that's Trump. Trump gave him that order. Trump ain't got nothing to do with that. These people are grown people, do their own thing. How come I get on them? I'm all over. But no, I'm saying you're making these accusations, or you saying such this is that, and you don't elaborate on how it is. How is it dangerous for Matt Gaetz? I'm quite sure Matt Gaetz have a huge mind for law. I don't know. Eric Holder, before he was Attorney General, he was working with Bill Clinton. But where was his experience as Attorney General? You don't get no prior experience as Attorney General unless you were Attorney General for the state. Like Kamala Harris was Attorney General for the state. It would have been smart if Joe was smart enough, he would have made her the Attorney General for his cabinet and made Stacey Abrams his vice president. But he didn't. Thank God he didn't make her, Kamala Harris, Attorney General, because after her Attorney General stint in California, I don't want none of that in the nation at all. Let me keep going.
All the time to get your perspective, of course, out there. I want to ask you about former Hawaii Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to be Director of National Intelligence. You have a history with the former Congresswoman. What do you think of her being tapped to be Director of National Intelligence?
Tulsi Gabbard is someone who has met.
Here's the talking point. Here's the talking points. Tulsi Gabbard is somebody that met this person, this person. Tulsi Gabbard is a woman who decided to do things that you guys are not willing to do. She decides to go where you guys are really not willing to go. Number one, because she's running for office. She ran for office and pretty much took down Kamala Harris' bid for office. And Joe had to save her. But she's going to meet with dictators and leaders and stuff because that's what world leaders supposed to do, you numbnut.
With war criminals, violated the...
How are you going to say Tulsi Gabbard met with war criminal when you campaigned for a war criminal? Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, war criminal, George W. Bush, war criminal. Everybody that's been president or worked in the presidential cabinet for the past 10 to 20 years are war criminal. Everybody in Congress that voted for war are war criminal because it wasn't really about war. It was about selling military grade weapons like Joe Biden is doing over and over and over again in Ukraine and in Israel, selling weapons of war. These people go to war. They kill innocent people. They should be sent to The Hague. They should be tried. They're war criminals. George Bush, Barack Obama, you name it. All on war criminals. So you got the nerves to talk about Tulsi Gabbard going to meet maybe Putin, going to meet the president of Syria, any other president. That's what you do when you're trying to become a world leader. You don't want to lead just Hawaii. You don't want to lead just the United States. You're going to be a world leader. Then you got to meet leaders in the world, idiot. That is not a bad thing. Trump go meet with Kim Jong-un. I don't meet with dictators. We don't talk to dictators. We don't negotiate with dictators. We don't. And then how you gonna get something done? You keep making a boogeyman out of the dictator, and the dictator over there making a boogeyman out of you. Somebody come in and stop this man. It took Dennis Rodman of all people to calm down the heated relationship between North Korea in the United States in this nuclear weapons program that they supposedly have in North Korea. If it wasn't for Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un, the president, the Führer, the dictator of North Korea, if he didn't like him, of all people, to save us from a nuclear war, it was Dennis Rodman. You got to talk to people that's unwilling to talk to you. You got to talk to people. You don't go around and just have friends and think you're going to change the world with just the friends that you got. You're going to have to talk to world leaders that's on the opposite side of the mind, opposite side of the table, that see things different from you, and you got to meet them in the middle. So you're going to vilify Tulsi Gabbard because she decides to do that?
The Department of State's guidance and secretly, clandestinely went to Syria and met with Assad, who gassed and attacked his own people.
She didn't secretly and clandestinely went. She said she was going. She asked y'all to go. Y'all decided not to go, and she went anyway. And she went so she could tell the truth about these gas issues that y'all claiming Assad did, and he didn't do it. You guys did it. You guys fund al-Nusra to gas these people and blame it on Assad just to try to go to war with Syria so you can get that oil, which is always the problem. You want to get some oil instead of changing the laws here and producing our own oil. There's so many black people in America right now that's sitting on oil. They got land that's sitting on oil. The moment black people start buying land with oil on top of it, here come the regulators putting regulations on the oil industry, and you couldn't produce oil in the United States no more. You could barely produce it 20 miles offshore. The only way you can legally produce it, you got to be in the middle of the freaking ocean to produce oil, which is going to end up messing up the environment. So you get mad at Tulsi Gabbard, who is a Hindu, Samoan, white and Samoan woman who ran for office too, South Asian Pacific woman, just like Kamala Harris. You're going to get mad at her and think that she's not a good pick for National Intelligence Director because she meets with foreign leaders. That's the perfect position for her. National Intelligence Director. She has to be in tune with the intelligence of the world in order to keep the United States safe and our partners safe. But let me keep going.
People with chemical weapons. She's considered to be essentially, by most assessments, a Russian asset.
By what assessment? How are you going to say she's considered to be, by most assessments, a Russian asset? What is your source? How is she a Russian asset? If anybody a Russian asset, you are. You're a Russian asset with your drunk behind. Now look at Tulsi on the left and look at her on the right. I mean, looks don't make you honorable and respectful, but this lady carries herself as a lady. She carries herself as a person that really cares about the United States. She's willing to work on both sides of the aisle. She was a Democrat. I guess she's a Republican, but she didn't want to be a Republican. She was a left-leaning Democrat. She was considered a progressive. She's kind of like me. I got some progressive-ish values, and I got some conservative values mixed in. And you're going to go where you celebrate it, not tolerate it. And clearly, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, with her cheating, rigging behind, cannot tolerate her. This lady Tulsi Gabbard was supposed to succeed Debbie Wasserman Schultz at the DNC. Hillary Clinton handpicked Debbie Wasserman Schultz to run the DNC in her campaign in 2016 and let the rigging start. Let the cheating and the conniving and scheming to try to push Hillary Clinton to the White House, all the data, the WikiLeaks and all that, let it begin. They phased out and froze out any other opponent of Hillary Clinton. They kept them out of the DNC database. They couldn't get access to emails and none of that stuff. Tulsi Gabbard exposed them on it, and now they big mad, especially her, because this exposed her for the failure as a DNC chair. She was a failure. You think Jamie Harrison is a failure, and he is a failure. I mean, Jamie Harrison is responsible for the defeat of the Democratic Party in his 2024 election. He's one of the reasons. I don't know why James Clyburn pushed his muscles to get that dude to position, and he don't know what the hell he's doing. Everybody got molly-whopped in the election. The Republicans not us. I used to be a Democrat back in the day. The Republicans beat the Democrats in every area except maybe the governorship. I don't know, but House, Senate, they leading the courts. And you got people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz to thank for that. And she got the nerve to call her a Russian asset. If you don't you look like you're a Russian troll.
And would be the most.
Is that how you
dangerous...
consider her? Is that what you consider her?
Oh yes, there's no question. I consider her someone who is likely a Russian asset, who would be.
You got to prove that. This is why one of the things that Trump is doing now is, if you're going to lie on me, you're going to pay for that lie. Because you already got me in court for all this and I'm spending my money on all this stuff. If I hear you putting your mouth on me and you're what they call it, character assassinating me, which is against the law, just to let you know, y'all, character assassination is against the law. You can sue on it. You can file a lawsuit on a person that's crapping on your character, making people don't want to do business with you, making people don't want to be around you, shaming you. And Trump said enough of that. Put your mouth on me, I'm suing y'all. Which he should have did that a long time ago, but he put his mouth on so many people at the beginning. It's like, yo, I'm going to let these people slide. Y'all can talk about me like a dog. I don't care. But, man, boy, if it wasn't for me, because I'm from New York. You talk about me like a dog, I'm going to talk about you like a dog. I'm going to go further. I'm talking about you, your mama. I'm going to talk about your wife. And see, that's why Trump, he can't control himself. Somebody do something to him, he can't just go clap back at the person who did it to him. He got to talk about how fat their wife is and how ugly their mama is. And I'm like, yo, Trump, stop. Hey, but that's how you do in Jamaica, Queen. I don't care if you're wealthy or poor. Hey, I'm not just going to come after you. I'm coming after you, your mama, your sister, everybody. Everybody going to get the smoke. That's how Trump is. This lady got the nerve to sit here and talk about this woman Russian ass because she meets with dignitaries. Whether you are favorable toward those dignitaries or not, she do meet with these dignitaries.
Be as the DNI responsible for managing our entire intelligence community, hold all of our most significant intelligence information and secrets.
You know why she's in that position? Because she's intelligence. You know why you're not in that position? Because you're as dumb as a pack of socks, lady. Dumb as a pack of socks.
And essentially would be a direct line to our enemies. And so the irresponsibility of these appointments and the disregard. I get he wants to break heads. I get that presidents have the right to make appointments, but that is why there's an advise and consent role by the United States Senate, and one that they should very carefully and thoroughly use. And let me not.
But is that constitutional, David Wasserman? No, it's more like an advisory position, but it's not constitutional.
Suggest that all of his appointments so far have been irresponsible. Marco Rubio and I, he's a United States senator from our home state, Jose, and I don't agree with the senator on a lot, but we've worked closely together, particularly on issues around Venezuela and Maduro and Cuba and Israel, and so. That's a pick. Certainly I have disagreements, but one where you can sort of wade through those disagreements and find common ground. And Mike Waltz as well, decorated veteran, someone who has the understanding, the patriotism, the experience. Again, we don't agree, but him managing our national security apparatus and policy, that's a pick that is well within the bounds
Man, this lady is drunk.
of a president's right to appoint who he would like to. But breaking the system of justice, appointing a guy like RFK Jr., who is an anti-vaxxer, who...
Not true. Stop lying. These people be spitting out these lies, calling people, saying they this and that with no proof. You can't call Robert F. Kennedy an anti-vaxxer. The man was anti this vaccine. I guess I'm an anti-vax. He has a record of getting vaccines. Personally, making sure he got vaccines and his kids get vaccines. So how is he going to be an anti-vaxxer when him, his wife, and his kids all are up to date on their vaccine? He only had a problem with this one and how it was rolled out, which I do and everybody named Mama do too. We don't know what's going to happen with this now. Y'all shot this stuff in people's body. It's young people dropping dead left and right. And a lot of people believe that has something to do with that. It ain't about no anti-vaxxer. You can be anti... Look, I can be anti... fishing for dolphins, but don't mean I'm anti-fishing. So behind down, lady. This lady is crazy.
Who believes that the theories of conspiracy theorists, that is a danger to the national health system.
What is this bitch talking about? Why don't she just shut the fuck up? She ain't saying shit.
This lady running her mouth, don't know what the hell she's talking about. She just naming names and don't give a crap. And I'm telling you, man, when people start clapping back at you, you need to sue. That'll get them to shut up real quick. Or put a cease and desist. You can't talk you can't run your mouth on me no more. I'm gonna muzzle you. You lie on me. It's one thing I don't like personally. I hate it. I loathe. I'd rather get the skin peeled off me and jump in a pool of alcohol than somebody lie on me. I'd rather get shot in the butt. To lie on me is one of the most, that's the easiest way to get me deterred against. And it'll tempt me to be anti you and go after you. I can't stand a person that lie on me. Now, if it's true, hey, it is what it is. But to lie on me, I don't play it. And Deborah Wasserman just did lies after lies after lies. Now, I agree with her. Me, Matt Gaetz shouldn't be, not that position, not Attorney General. No, sirree. No. Bad choice. And he makes bad choice. I agree with her on that. Tulsi, perfect for the position. RFK, perfect for the position. Why? Because these people been fighting these things all their life. Fight. Now me, I thought Tulsi would be better as Secretary of State instead of Mark Rubio. But Debbie Wasserman shows have no reason to talk about who need to be where. She has no reason to talk about who need to be where. She needs to sit her behind down. This is one of the most crookedest, spineless woman I ever met in my life. This is not even a woman. This is a creature.
Jaja Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
This is an alien.
Jaja Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
She's drunk. She don't know what she's talking about. And she needs to sit her behind down.
Sit your ass down.